that stopped the live, okay? I got a phone call that stopped the live. So I said, well, let me come on back because I still got a few minutes to just shoot the breeze. How's everybody? How's everybody? I hope all is well. Thanks for coming in, everybody. I appreciate you. Oh, what was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about the trolls because before I got rudely interrupted with the phone call that shut the first live down, I was talking to the trolls, y'all. I was letting them know they free to come on over here, long as they come over here with some respect, okay? Got to put this respect on my name, okay? I'm Sharinabelli, by the way, in case you were wondering. Or you can call me Sharon, okay? Just don't call me late for dinner, though, okay? Because there's going to be an issue with that. Ah. But yeah, I'm just chilling, guys. I'm just chilling. I'll be back to work before long. Wishing and praying I was somewhere else. Why did you end your other stream? Because I got a phone call that ended that stream. See, I should have had it on do not disturb mode. So, but that's why it ended. So, but yeah, I was talking about the trolls, guys. I don't have a problem. I remember my grandson. He has a YouTube channel. His channel name is Golly TV. He loves the trolls. He loves them. Wait, did you change your shirt? No, it's the same shirt. I'm not that swift. I don't move that fast no more. I'm up in age now, and I don't move that fast. But my grandson, Godly TV, he loves the trolls. Because when the trolls come a calling, he have a good old time with them. And so he kind of changed my mind on the trolls. Because when I saw somebody trolling, especially when they come up in here with a whole bunch of riffraff and stuff like that, I can't deal with that. Egg. Hello, Egg. Egg, how old are you? You're the best person in the world. Wait, how old are you again? Hey, you're 13, so we're going to have to send you off into the corner, okay? So you can find yourself a coloring book, a crayon, a little classmate or something. Because this channel's just not made for children, sugar, okay? Thanks for coming in, though, Egg. See, and see, I hate to do it. Look, when cat paw, okay, cat paw. Y'all must have heard me say I don't have a problem with the trolls. Why are you deleting people? Because this channel is not made for children, and people under 18 can't stay here. Okay, not being mean or anything. It's just that the channel's not made for children. And by children, I mean anybody under 18, okay? So that's how the children. But you're a grandma. But those are YouTube rules. So, Kyle, you said you were how old? 20? As you grow older, Kyle, you'll understand that these rules, they're in place for a reason. And it's our job we have to abide by certain rules, okay? If we want to participate in certain things. Do you have sons? Am, am I bad? How old are you again, Kyle? Now tell the truth and shame the devil. How old are you again? Actually, I'm not just a grandma, I'm a great grandma. If you want to know the truth. I'm a great grandma. I have four great grands and one great grand on the way. So soon I'll have five in total. Five great grands. And I do have a son. I'm 7, but bye. I'll see you. Oh, Kyle, you have to go, baby. Bye, Kyle. Bye, baby. Sorry you couldn't hang out in here. You can't hang out in here, okay? Sorry I had to do that, but the channel is just not made. You're an amazing grandma. How old are you? King Saint, how old are you? Are you over 18 or under 18? Hey, Audrey, I'm here chatting with the trolls. So you gotta go too, baby. You gotta go too. Oh, all these wannabe new grandkids coming up in here. But I'm sorry, baby. You can't stay. You can't stay, sugar. The channel's just not made for children, okay? Oh, Audrey, I'm in here chatting with the trolls, girl. I went live earlier, but I got a phone call. A phone call was trying to come in, and it ended. Oh shoot! It ended. I got it. I got it. And it ended the live. So I had to come back. And then when I come back, I come back to a lot of trolls. I'm like, Lord, trolls and children. I'm like, Lord have mercy. I hate to get rid of the babies, but they can't stay here because the channel's just not made for children. Lord, hey, mister. I see the trolls are trolling. Yeah, these kids need to find something productive to do. I want to know where the parents at, though, Audrey. What? See, this is why we don't need to have these children with all of these devices and things, because you don't know. You got all kind of petties out here and tricking the babies, and they don't know half of them, And then before you know it, the children wind up missing. Parents somewhere looking at a soap opera somewhere. And then when the daggone news people come, oh, I don't know what happened. Well, I know what happened. You wasn't on parent duty. That's what happened. Goodness gracious. But yeah, I was just shooting the breeze, Audrey. I'm just, ugh. I'll be back at the job in a minute or two, but for right now, I just needed to woosah. Yeah, I agree with you, Audrey. They need to be doing something productive. Listen, I didn't grow up in this era where they had phones and computers. Only time you seen a computer when you went to, let's say, a library, or you'll probably see some in certain classes in school, or it just wasn't that readily available to us. But well, these birds must be smelling my little food. Miss Sharon, exactly. I better never find my grandchildren on these social media platforms. And it's funny though, Audrey, because I remember one day, this was years ago, I had boarded a bus, and it was a mama on her phone, and it was she had a baby, but the baby looked like he or she wasn't no more than 2 years old, maybe three. And the baby had the phone or the tablet, something, and was just going to town, pushing buttons and doing stuff. And I'm telling you, the baby would have put me to shame because I didn't know what was going on with the daggone gadgets. So I asked the mama, I said, the baby know what they doing, huh? The mama said, yeah. I said, oh, wow. That just goes to show you how much that baby probably had been on that device. Because, see, they use those devices as babysitters, instead of paying them children some attention. I know what you mean. A lot of parents give all these devices to their children so they don't have to deal with them, and that's crazy. Because and I know that a lot of stuff is happening on the internet. Children coming up missing and all that kind of mess. And it's like, I mean, they don't. Yeah, I remember when I was little, we had the TV where they didn't have no remotes to it, okay? You had to actually get up and change the channel. It was a big old knob, and you had to get up and change it. We had them antennas where you had to kind of put a little aluminum foil on top of it and try to move the antenna. We didn't have all this stuff they got out here today. They got all this stuff, and like you said, you are absolutely right, so they don't have to deal with the children. But why have them? Why have them? I know this girl had 10 children. I asked her when she only had two. I said, baby, you keep pushing out them babies. What's going on? You keep pushing out the babies. Baby daddy keep being locked up for non-support and all this stuff. She told me she didn't believe in birth control. I'm like, well, So you must keep getting pregnant by the man who don't believe in paying child support either, because he stay in jail. Ain't helping out with the children or nothing. I'm like, wow, doing nothing. Hi, Quiz How old are you, baby? How old are you? Tell me some of the business before we go too far here. Tell me. Tell me some of the business, Quiz. I ain't gonna be up here much longer anyway. I gotta get back down here to this office. Nowadays, they can't even take these kids into a store without a device in their hand, just so they will act right. Girl, and my kids were never brought up like that, honey, because them kids my kids, I only had the two, but they already knew. They go up in the store acting the funk. Honey, they knew they had more funk coming their way, okay? And it was coming from the mama, because I didn't play. Because my grandmother and my mom and them always taught us, you better, when you get outside, you better act like you belong to somebody. And you is somebody, you know? So we already knew the ropes. My mama didn't have to say a word. All we had to do was look at that shape of her mouth. When her mouth moved in a certain way, Audrey, we better move in a certain way. Now, my mama I never got a whooping from my mama, but my grandmother, that woman did not spare the rod. She would not spare the rod. And if you didn't hurry up and duck, you might be introduced close up and personal to a cast iron frying pan, because she'll sling it your way. She wasn't going to try to kill you or nothing, but I think for the most part, they're trying to prepare God. And it worked. It worked. Honey had us straight up and fly right just like that. Yes, indeedy. That's right, because I'm going to act a donkey with him. That's right. You want to act a fool, I'm going to act one with you. You know what I mean? And I ain't going to do nothing that's going to harm you mentally or fit, but you going to act right, fly right, or the daggone game is on. That's all I'm going to say. I can't say but I'm telling you, we didn't have to do too much to the kids, you know. They didn't have to do too much to us. Look at us in a certain way. I tell you, we came to recognize that look my mama had, especially that thing she did with that mouth part, honey. She got the folding up that lip. I'm like that bottom lip, and we already knew. Like I said, she never whooped us, but she would take your arm and she would squeeze it. And she would squeeze it in a manner that you knew what the dealio was. You knew what it was. You better straighten up, because by the time, you get your tail home, you might just get a whooping. But see, that was all we needed, was that little squeeze. That little squeeze of that little mouth thing. You know what I mean? That is all it took. We act like we had. Oh, Lord have mercy. I have two sons, and they knew. I'm a little crazy. I know what you mean. I guess we all knew. My kids knew. I knew that, you better act like something, because if not, these people going to teach you right on the spot, too. Right? I remember my grandmother, she was chastised, because like I said, my mama, and even my aunties and my uncle, they didn't do too much. But my grandmama, that woman, she walked alone, but she carried a big stick, baby. And she ruled the nest. She let everybody know she was head honcho in the family. Everybody knew and respected her and loved her dearly, because she didn't play. She loved us, but she didn't play. She was chastising one of her grandkids, one of us. It wasn't me, but I know I was somewhere in the vicinity. I heard what was going down. So she was, just chastised. She was, correcting one of her grandkids. The neighbors got wind of it. They must have heard the child hollering and screaming or whatever. I don't know. But my grandmother, wasn't going to try to kill nobody. But sometimes you were hollering and scream before they even got to you. So just so they could have a little mercy in their heart and get away from you. Sometimes we would fall right out, acting like something was, it was a dire emergency somewhere. We only did that to try to, be slick a little bit, to try to keep her from coming at you anymore, because she was going to advance towards you. So a neighbor heard some yelling, but and sent the police to my grandmother's house. And but when that police walked up in my grandmother's house, honey, he hurried up and walked right on back out because my grandmother looked at that man and told that man, listen, these my grandkids, and I'm going to get them before you do, okay? I'm going to get them, because she told him, I'm going to get them in love. You ain't going to have no kind of love for them, okay? So I'm going to get them straight before you try to get them, okay? You know, and that man never came back to the house. I don't care how many times that nosy neighbor tried to. And the neighbor probably thought she was doing something protective. You know, she probably didn't know anything about what our tactics was as kids, how we would fall down and start howling and screaming before anybody came towards us. But we were scared, probably trying to get out and getting a whooping or something. And but that police ain't never come back to my grandmother's house. My grandma was not playing. She said, "I'm gonna get to my grandkids, my kids before you do, 'cause you ain't gonna do them with love. I am." I'm like, I know that's right, Brilla. That was my grandmother named Brilla. And Brilla didn't play, honey. Everybody in the neighborhood knew Miss Brilla, honey, and they respected her because she was a good woman. She was a good woman. She just didn't take no stuff. You know, she's one of them country women who didn't take no stuff. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness. You said you remember those days. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But some children, they not children, but they adults now who grew up in our era, you know. They swear that they were so abused. Now some of them may been. Some of them may have been. I don't know. I don't call it abuse. But some people do. I call it chastising, correcting, because the word tells you. You know, you spare the rod, you spoil the child. You got to get these children in, you know, in some kind of good headspace. Because they'll go out there in the streets, start listening to their little so-called buddies out there. Before you know it, you know, you trying to find some bail money somewhere. Because they building jails left and right for younger and younger and younger people. You know? You was a track star. I know that's right. Trying to get away from my grandfather. Oh, I was a track star trying to get away. I remember running too. Trying to get away from dad, uncles, and stuff. Because I did little mischievous things, I have to admit. I did little things that I knew was going to bug people. But that was just a child in me acting simple. You know, and I figured I could run fast so they couldn't catch me because they were so much older. Did what I was going to do and I dipped. I dipped out of there with the quick. Oh, my Lord. For Audrey, it's 2:01 now here, and God knows it's over. I tell you. Thanks for coming in, hanging out with me. He had that switch on, and I know. I'm surprised because they would make you go out and get your own switch and then bring it back. But honey, I'm telling you, my grandmother would get switches, extension cords, all kind. I remember. I'm gonna say this one thing. Then I'm gonna get up off of here. I remember when my daughter was young, and she was over her grandmother, how my grandmother, which was her great grandmother. No, yeah, her great grandmother. Wait a minute. No, I'm the grandmother. My mother was a great grand. This was her great great grandmother. My grandmother was her great great grandmother. So she was over there spending time with my grandmother, and my grandmother was, you know, on the phone. And I don't know what my daughter was doing. She must have been doing something distracted or something. And oh Lord, these bugs. Um, so my daughter kept doing whatever she was doing, even after my grandmother asked her to stop. She didn't. So what my grandmother did was take the receiver and tapped her on her arm somewhere or something. And then she had went put the receiver back to her ear. And my daughter, she was feeling some type of way about that, and because she was telling me the story about what had happened, right? And she said, yeah, and grandma had the nerve after she tapped me with the phone talking about something. Um, Praise the Lord, because that's how she used to answer the phone. Praise the Lord. I say, well, girl, she told you to stop, and you didn't stop. But she was telling me the story, Audrey, as if she wanted me to go over there and do something to my grandmother. I'm like, what you think I'm for? Because I'm a protector of my kids, you know, as best I could be, you know. I'm like, what you want me to go over there? I ain't messing with mama. Mama been took the other daggone frying pan, the other daggone piece of the phone or something and sling it my way. When she tell you to stop, just stop. But my daughter was so mad. She said, "How's she gonna take the receiver of the phone and hit me on the arm, and then take the phone and put it back to her ear? I was like, praise the Lord, cause that's how she answered the phone every time she picked it up. Praise the Lord. We say hello, but she say praise the Lord. Let me get out of here. Thanks for being in here chilling with me, Audrey. I so appreciate it. I will see you on the next live, okay? Or whenever we can link up again, all right? Thank you, and you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. I'm going to get back down here. I'm hoping it's not a whole lot of folk down here. They wiped me out today, though. Normally, before I come live, I don't even eat, but today I had to eat. I had to get me something. Now I'm going to go and get me some cold water before I go back so I can try to regulate this little temperature of mine. But I will see you on the next one, maybe, Audrey. Thanks again. Take care. Bye now.